Here with men's hockey coach Bill Moore. Coach, season got started last weekend at the MIAC Showcase. 0-1-1 showing for you guys. Nice tie against St. Thomas coming from behind, and then a loss to Concordia. From your perspective, can you kind of sum up how the weekend went?
Yeah, I guess we were very, very happy with the weekend, except for the way it came out. I mean, you look at St. Thomas, and we came out a little slow, and we knew we probably would have a little bit of issues at first because we had 4 freshman defensemen playing, and we had to get used to it again and get them up to pace. But we got better every period, and I think the third period shots were 18-5 in our favor. So getting the tie out of there was okay. We were okay with that for game one. And then the Concordia game really leaves a sour taste in your mouth because when you outshoot them 38-16, and I think we out-attempted them 99-36 or something like that, you expect to come up with a win. But their goaltender played well. They got a few good breaks, and all of a sudden we didn't put them away when we had the chance, and we were in overtime. And you know what happens in overtime. Anything can happen.
Talk a little bit about, you had mentioned that you had, several freshmen, especially on your defensive core, playing their first couple of games. I thought, having been there for the games, that your freshmen played extremely well, considering it was their first 2 college games.
They played very well, and they're very talented players. Kyle Mee played it for 3 years at Springfield in the North American Hockey League, and he is a tremendous balanced defenseman, throwing in his offensive abilities but still not giving up the defensive end. Alex DeBacco played up in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League, and so did Joey Maverin. Both of those guys are solid players, different. Joey's very defensive, but he's got some offensive prowess. Alex is extremely offensive, and we're going to have to work a little bit on the defensive side yet, but he's very, very good with the puck and very fast. Seth Kamras came from Topeka, and when we get those North American League guys in there and the Northern Ontario guys in there, the talent-wise is there. So right now we're very, very excited about where we are. Again, it left a little bit of a bad taste because we've outplayed Concordia so badly and just didn't come up with the win. But, they don't count shots. They count how many times it crosses the goal line. So we'll just have to do better this weekend.
And let's talk a little bit offensively. If you look at the stat sheet from the weekend, 12 points from 11 different players. Bob Kinney's the only player on your team that had more than 1 point on the weekend. And I guess, to me, that would bode well to show the depth that you have in terms of your offensive production. You're not going to have to rely on 1 or 2 people to kind of carry the load.
Well, absolutely, and I think most teams will expect that the line with Jay Heinley, Marty Gruss, and Nick Albergo will be our top line, and they'll line match them. And that group didn't get a point all weekend, so if we can get points out of all 4 lines, I think that is going to bode very well with the depth playing in the conference. And again, I think it just goes to show that we can score from anywhere. When we get all of the lines rolling at the same time, we could be a pretty good team.
And let's talk about the weekend. You're home this weekend. You've got a couple of non-conference games, Eau Claire on Friday night and River Falls on Saturday. 2 big non-conference games against WIAC schools. Eau Claire ranked number 8th in the country. Going to be some good tests for you this weekend.
Absolutely, and it's going to be the way that we get better is by playing those kinds of teams. So we're excited. Last year we had a win at River Falls and a tie at Eau Claire. So we're hoping that we can get 2 wins out of that this weekend and just continue to get better when we go into the series against Bethel the following weekend and the conference starts.
Let's talk a little bit real quick about home ice. Ice rinks are all different. We have a different size sheet than most people. There are some changes this year with the glass situation, having the tall glass all the way around. Talk a little bit about playing here this weekend, and what it's going to do, what differences there may be if people come out and watch the games.
Well, some huge differences that really hurt us in the showcase was when we had good attacks at the Concordia net. The Concordia goalies were kicking the net off and getting a whistle. Here at our rink, we have NHL-style posts that have the 10-inch pegs in them, so they're not going to come off unless somebody absolutely blows it up. And so you're not going to be able to stop an offensive attack by kicking the net off. It isn't going to go anywhere. That's one big one. The other thing is we have 12 feet from the goal line to the backboards behind the net, and we may have a lot of our offense designed coming from behind the goal, where the defense would have to turn and look, and the goalie's got to turn and look, and sometimes they lose sight of the people in front of the net that way. So those things really come to our advantage. And I think the last one is the width, because when we're extremely fast teams will want to trap us. And on the wide rink, it's very, very difficult to trap, because if they get out wide enough to get to the wings, the center ice area is wide open. And if they stay tight to take the center ice area away, they can't get to the boards to catch the wings. So we like it. It fits our style. But then we have to adjust when we go to a smaller rink and play better on the smaller rinks.
7 o'clock this weekend, Friday night against Eau Claire, Saturday against River Falls. Good luck.
Thanks, Ben.